Hello, Sagittarius, and Happy New Year to you. Welcome to Heart Wisdom Tarot. This is your reading for 18, so we're going to be looking at the general energies for you for 18. Obviously, this is a general reading, so it will not resonate with everyone, but you will know from the start, the first few minutes of listening, whether this is for you or not. I've already shuffled the cards and laid them out as I usually do to save time on recording and uploading time. And as I was doing that, and sort of tuning into the cards, before I go into the different positions, the general impression that I get from the cards, from the spread, is of some sort of job dissatisfaction here. There is a lot of focus on the material in this spread. I've got a few pentacle cards, I've got the devil card, so there is a focus on the material aspect. There is a strong energy around that. A strong sense of leadership, of ambition. I mean, I've got the Chariot, I've got the Seven of Wands, I've got the King of Wands, I've got the King of Swords, I've got the Strength card, the Ace of Pentacles. So there is a strong drive for moving forward, for doing well, for success, for expansion. But at the same time, there is a sense of endurance and dissatisfaction. It almost feels like someone who's doing a job, but not really, their heart is not totally in it. And they're looking and assessing and evaluating and envisioning, something new, looking for new opportunities. It's almost, there's a sense of needing to do this and stick with it, for the sake of, having the material comfort, or for providing for one's family, or, there is a sense of responsibility here. But at the same time, it's a little bit of anxiety and stress around the situation. So, going to the first position here, I have got the Seven of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the Chariot. So, as I said earlier, with the Seven of Wands and the Chariot, there is this really energy of willpower, of trying too hard, of striving here to do something. But there is, in between those two cards, there's a much softer, kinder card, which is the Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups card. And it's almost, this is the aspirations position. So what are your hopes and wishes for 14? And it's almost like I have somebody here who wants to have a little bit of respite, indeed, who's been working too much, who feels drained, who feels working too hard, and just always moving forward, always doing, dealing with different priorities, having to prove themselves. And the aspiration is for this softness here, for a bit of pleasure, for a bit of kindness, for a little bit of respite, for stopping and smelling the roses almost, and stopping this kind of continuous effort and strife, it seems. So what are the supporting energies? What are the opportunities in team that can support you in achieving your aspiration? And here we've got the Devil card, we've got the Four of Cups, and we've got the Sun card. So with these three, I would say, with the Devil card in the opportunities position, in what supports you, the Devil card is the Capricorn card, and the Capricorn has this amazing capacity for endurance for the greater good. Capricorns do not shy away from hard work to provide for themselves, to provide for the people in their, for themselves, for the people they love, for their family. There is a strong sense of responsibility, and they just get on with it. Despite even being dissatisfied with what they're doing, but there is a strong sense of responsibility and endurance with the Capricorn. And this is it is actually reflecting this Seven of Wands and this Chariot, working hard for the greater good. So as an opportunity here, just mentioning that because it's it came through very strongly in terms of the qualities, your qualities, for those of you this reading is resonating with. So your opportunities, what's supporting you is this strength that you have to endure, to carry on, to keep going, but also the opportunity to look at and shed light and have clarity on what it is that you need to change to reach a sense of satisfaction in your life. And just having these two cards together as well, it's almost, if we take the Devil in the sense of too much focus on the material world, it's almost like to a level of obsession. I would say that with the Sun card, it's saying here that the light will prevail, that eventually you have the opportunity to regain some of your zest for life, some of that innocence, some of that childlike joy and pleasure in 18, and not be almost chained to this kind of focus on the material, on achieving, on whatever the material aspect, work, finances, etc. And you could regain that joy and that innocence, which is also reflected here in the Six of Cups and in your aspirations for the year. So you have the opportunity in 17 to do so. What is your obstacle for 18? What are the challenges, really? What are the challenges? And I've got here the Four of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Seven of Swords. Straight away with the Hanged Man and the Four of Swords, there's this energy of pause, not doing much, inner reflection. And what these three cards say to me is, as a challenge, is will you be able to have the time to really look at what you're finding dissatisfying in this experience? Would you take the time from doing to really sit and have a different perspective on what's going on and see things from a different perspective? Or are you just not going to face these issues, like this Seven of Swords here, who's, sneaking away instead of facing, whatever he's running away from? So these three cards together are saying your challenge is to take that time to face up to whatever you feel dissatisfied about. Take that time to go within, to think and see things from a different perspective, and really in order for you to achieve this, to achieve the Six of Cups, this sun energy, and move away from this Four of Cups energy, which, shows this person who is, apathetic and quite dissatisfied, looks like he's sulking and sitting there and not really being happy about what's going on. Looking at the work life now, the energies for the work life, I have got the King of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. Again, there is, great potential here. Great potential for something better, something new, something better, be it, a new opportunity, a new job, or expanding and growing what you already have. Setting up long-term goals for what you want to do and having the clarity about that. And the King of Swords is very clear about what they want, very clear about where they want to be, where they want to go. And given this whole situation where there is a level of, as I said, endurance here, or dissatisfaction, I'm not surprised that indeed you'd be looking elsewhere. You'd be looking elsewhere for new opportunities, and how to achieve that. And you have that potential. You have that potential. Now, the energies around relationships, personal life, we've got the King of Wands, we've got the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. Again, here there is a strong will to for a new beginning, to manifest a relationship in the physical, and to put in the work, achieve that. Again, with the Seven of Pentacles, it's almost there's a sense of dissatisfaction. It's like, okay, I've done all this work. Where is it going to lead me now? What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to keep? There's a lot of evaluation here. So maybe you're looking at your past experiences, what worked, what didn't work, and trying to learn from what has happened in the past in order to have kind of this brand new beginning on a completely fresh energy, but based on your evaluation of maybe your past relationships. But there is a strong desire here for building something, and for success in this area of your life. Now, the last two cards are the theme for the whole year. And I've got the Three of Swords and the Strength card. And this really, I go back to what I said in the beginning, where the Three of Swords is that sense of dissatisfaction. I mean, the Three of Swords doesn't have to be always about, pain and hurt, especially if there are no other cards that are supporting us. So if there was, for example, the Five of Cups or the Ten of Swords, for example, I would say, yes, there is some really deep emotional hurt here. But there is no other card in the spread to indicate that. So, and because of the emphasis here on the material, I would say this really talks about that sense of dissatisfaction, that sense of having to endure something that I'm not quite happy about, proving myself, really fighting against, the stream, trying to move ahead. And that's supported by the Strength card. There's, it's almost like you have to pull upon your inner resources here. and your inner strength to address whatever it is you're not happy about in this situation, and not fall into the trap of the challenges here, which is to not face up to these issues. You need to take the time to really think about this. Think about your priorities. Think about maybe if you're trying to achieve more work-life balance, for example. Whatever it is you're feeling dissatisfied about, you need to face up to it. And you've got the supporting energies to help you to do that. With the Sun card, you've got that real potential to achieve this sense of satisfaction and joy and pleasure that you seem to be missing at the moment. Yeah, and you've got this opportunity. You've got this opportunity for growth. For setting up new long-term goals, especially if we put the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. I mean, look at that. Look at that. This is definitely about evaluating, assessing what works, what doesn't work, what do I keep, what do I leave behind. A new beginning, expansion, looking at growth, looking at setting up long-term goals and manifesting new goals. Really, really strong in the reading. And you have the ability to do so, but you need to take the time to really think about what you want and where you need to go, and you will be able to. When the Strength card comes up, it means that, there will be some challenge, some effort on your part, but eventually you will achieve what you want. I mean, this lady here has tamed the beast. She's tamed that lion. And the Strength card also says, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. It's a card about compassion and gentle power. You don't need to be in this constant kind of energy of, striving and proving yourself and, constantly kind of on the go. So be gentle with yourself. I've pulled an oracle card from Sonia Choquette's Ask Your Guides oracle card book, and I got creativity for you. I'm going to read that. So, your creativity. So the keywords for this card are patience, practice, re-evaluation, and assessment. We were just talking about that. There's a lot of re-evaluation here that is needed, and that will be happening through our team. But this process needs patience. It needs patience, it needs strength, and it needs you being gentle with yourself. You don't need to be hard on yourself in this. You don't need to be pushing too hard. Just take it easy and slow. Your creativity guides are advising you that there's no way to avoid risk if you wish to live a creative life. Stop worrying about making right and wrong choices and view all of them as creative opportunities. Be glad you have the freedom to make choices at all, and realize that no matter what you choose, you'll create something. If you don't like the result, then simply go back to the drawing board and make new and hopefully better choices. So if you're not happy about something, reevaluate, set new goals, and start again. Your creativity guides remind you not to look at life in terms of black and white, me against you, all or nothing. Your creative spirit, regardless of what else, you're a creative spirit, regardless of what else is going on in your life. Assess your creations with appreciation and respect, whether good, bad, or indifferent, they all reflect your creativity. Celebrate everything you enjoy and don't fret over the rest. See your less desirable creations as interesting rough drafts and follow your creativity guide's advice. Go back to the drawing board. I think that's very, very clear. Go back to the drawing board, set up new goals, and start again. And be gentle with yourself, Sagittarians. I wish you all the very best and speak to you next time. Bye.